Hey there. Okay, so we are going to be doing some side lying hip exercises, and I'm going to do this all in one video, so this way you're not going to be flipping back and forth between videos. So pick the ones that you like or not like, and so I'm going to show you. So this is for the glutes and the hips, so the glute max and the glute medius. Okay, a lot of people tend to be, if you're looking for strengthening the glute med area, which is kind of like your hip area, these are the exercises that you should be doing. And you can do these standing up as well, but I'm going to show them to you lying down because it's a little bit more challenging here, and you're going to be able to feel it more when you're side lying versus in standing position. So I'm going to be doing it without a band. However, you can, if you're finding this too easy, you can always add bands, and I've got 3 of them here just to kind of give you an idea what kind of bands that you could be using. Okay, so these are just one style. All right, so you're going to be side lying. So you want to make yourself nice and comfortable so you can be here. Ideally, you want your spine to be in neutral position. So probably here is more like neutral position versus up here. So you want your spine in neutral, bending the bottom knee so you have some balance, okay? And then it's really about the top leg. So this is where you'll be doing the work. So I'm lying on my left side, so I'm gonna be working my right hip. And this is the mistake that most people make, is that their leg is in front. So if you can see your toes, then you're in the wrong position. You shouldn't be able to see your leg at all. Even if you can see your toe, your leg is too far forward. So this is really important if you want to be strengthening the right muscles. You don't want to be strengthening the hip flexors. You want to be strengthening the glute med, glute max, and the glute min. Okay, so leg is in neutral, and let's start with some clamshells. So my heels are in line here, and the idea here is to not move anything other than just your leg. Okay, so I always like to have my hand behind my hip, so this way I know if I'm shifting forward or back, more likely back than forward, okay? So your hips are in alignment, meaning your top hip is directly above the bottom hip. So these are the clamshells. You might have had these prescribed to you if you've ever been to a physiotherapist, and it's exactly this. You're just opening and closing your knee, and you can see that it's not a very big move, and my hips aren't moving. So this would be the wrong way of doing things, swinging my hips back. So you can see there's rotation in my spine. You want to keep it still. So having your hand back here and not moving anything other than your leg and squeezing at the top. So you really get to know what that muscle contraction feels like, what that muscle, glute medius, feels like when it's contracted. So holding it here and then releasing. So doing it slower versus faster is usually what I recommend to my clients, and squeezing and holding and then releasing. Okay, this doesn't take much for it to burn. Okay, so these are the clamshells. Next, you're going to be doing a leg lift. So my toes are to the floor and my heel is pointing up to the ceiling. My leg is still in line with my hip, right? So I can't see my toes. I can't really see my leg other than maybe to about here. Okay, and you're gonna lift your heel and then dead drop to the floor. Okay, so tapping the floor is really important because then this way you're gonna engage the right muscles. Okay, so don't lift too high where you're cinching up your waist. Okay, so you wanna keep your hips nice and long and lift. So you can see that my top hip is still directly above my bottom hip, and I'm not moving my hips or my spine or anything else other than just my leg. So same muscle group. So these are just different exercises that target the same muscle. So these are, call it leg lifts, okay? So you want to be lifting from your heel versus your toes, okay? Nice long waistline. And then the next one would be leg circles. Okay, actually let's do leg presses first, okay? So you're gonna flex your foot, okay? And you don't want to lift too high where you start to scrunch up in the waist. You want to have a nice long waistline on both sides. So some people might need it to be a little bit lower, some might need it to be a little bit higher. Same idea, you want to move your leg back. So I can see my toes, and I knew that I was in the wrong position. The moment you start to slide your heel back, you're going to feel that burn in that glute medius, okay? So keeping your foot flexed, you're going to put a little bend in your knee, just a small little softness in your knee joint, and then you're going to press. It's almost like you're pushing it against an imaginary wall and then pressing that heel. Okay, and you can see that my hip glute medius are activated, and what mistake that most people make is that they're bending their knee too far forward. Okay, so it's not about the knee bend, it's about the leg press. All right, and what else can I say about this exercise? Yeah, go slower, press and hold and squeeze, and then soften the knee. Inhale, exhale, tuck your belly in first. Exhale, press, squeeze, and hold. All right? And then the last one is the leg circles. So the leg circles, okay, most people have challenges doing this one because their leg starts to travel forward and the hip flexors want to take over, okay? If your hip flexors want to take over, it's what we do all day long, okay? So we want to activate the back side of our hips or the side part of our bodies. So pointing your toe, make sure your leg, you can't see your leg, you can't see your toes. And then you're gonna draw a circle. You can start with like maybe a tennis ball size, okay, maybe, yeah, tennis ball size, or what's another bigger size? Maybe like a volleyball, and you can see I'm going backwards and my hips aren't moving. What tends to happen is a little bit of a wave through the hips, but try to resist that by tucking that belly button in. When you tuck your belly in, your hips aren't gonna move. If you are tucking in, that's when you start swaying through the body and then drawing that circle. Or even the size of a clock, right? And I always tell people to draw, like go around the digits of the clock. So 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A lot of times people start cutting corners when they're doing this exercise. So try to avoid making odd-shaped circles and try to make your circles look more like or feel more like circles. And once you go in one direction, you can go in the opposite direction. All right, belly tight, nothing is moving. You're just moving your leg bone inside that hip socket. All right, and then is there another one? Yeah, there's also, and my leg's burning already because I've been holding it up. You can point your toe forward and then flex your leg back. It's the backward motion that's important, not so much the forward. Forward and back. You can put your hand down here or here and you just point your toes forward, slide your heel back. Same thing, keep your hips nice and still. Same idea, you're working the same muscle group. All right, so that's your hip strengthening series.